Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And wow, what a gorgeous day this is, isn't it? It is, what is it? October 23rd, 2023 right now. So this is really the peak of the fall leaf colors in the mountains of North Carolina. Now, I am at Lake James State Park, which is in the foothills. So they're not quite at peak yet, but boy, they're amazing. Like the drive in here today was just stunning. And I feel like I got the park to myself. I'm at the Patty's Creek area, which is actually the more popular part of the park, but the beach is closed. It's the season. They've closed it for the season. And so really this is more or less and it's a weekday, it's a Monday. So kids are in school, parents are working, all that stuff. So it's actually pretty quiet out here. The entire parking lot, the last time I was here was on Labor Day, and the parking lot, and they've got a huge parking lot for this area, it was absolutely jam-packed. And today I was one of the only cars in the entire parking lot. So that's the difference. But just look at it. It's amazing, isn't it? This park continues to amaze me because, I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes you get used to activating a place and you find the area you like the best, maybe because it's got the right mixture of, the right trees, the right environment to set up your radio. It's convenient to drive to, all that good stuff. And you tend not to branch out to different parts of the park. And this part of the park, I have typically overlooked and just, frankly, I just kind of ignored it because it's usually so darn busy. And when I come here, I just don't like lots and lots and lots of people running around. I enjoy having people around for telling them about amateur radio when they ask and everything, but I worry about, wire antennas and people tripping on them and dogs running through it and everything. I just like to be a little bit out of the way so I'm not in the way of family activities, because I get it. You come to a park, families come to a park, they're not expecting someone to have an antenna set up, so I like to keep my stuff just kind of off to the side and out of the way. So I hadn't been coming to this part of the park. And today when I came out here, I discovered a whole extra set of picnic tables and picnic area that I didn't even know about. I just had overlooked it all the times I've been here, even though I've been to this side of the park. And I've taken the trail that goes through here. I think it's called the Patty's Creek Trail. I just never had been, on this part of the park over here, on this side of the beach. So you always learn something, don't you? Boy, it's a really sunny day today. Now, I have set up over here on this picnic table in the shade a little bit. Sunshine is very strong today. But man, it just couldn't be a better day. It's probably 57 degrees right now. It'll heat up a bit today, of course, but not crazy. Super dry. Just a beautiful, beautiful day to be playing radio. Oh man, this is wonderful. It just feels wrong to have this whole park to myself. So this is actually the first activation I've done in about a week. I went to again, you're probably watching this toward the end of November, my guess would be. I'm at least 4 weeks behind on my videos right now because I've got so many in the pipeline. I made a lot of activation videos this fall, and so I'm just running a little bit behind. I'll probably have to speed those up. I'm also making some Patreon-only videos, basically because I've got an excess of field videos. So if you want extra videos, you can join me on Patreon, and you'll get to see those videos. They're done through Vimeo, not on YouTube. So, yeah, I haven't been the past week because the week before I was at the W4 Soda camp out in North Georgia. Had an absolute blast from that. There's probably 3 activation videos already out about that by the time I'm posting this one. On the drive back from the W4 Soda camp out, I discovered that I was coming down with a cold or COVID. I'm not sure which. Never really confirmed if it was COVID or not, but it knocked me out for about 3 days. And fortunately, like a lot of other people that have had COVID recently, it's just not the same animal it was early on in the pandemic and everything. It's really like a 3-day cold. And so I isolated myself from the family. I didn't want anybody else to get this. So Stayed in our little vacation rental, which was between guests at the moment. Just during that week, it was just a few days between guests. I stayed down there, set up a radio, and actually hunted stations while I was, kind of isolating. I felt really crappy, but I felt like hunting. The rest of the week, I did go for a little hike at the end of the week. I was already feeling that much better, but it never fit in a park activation or a SOTA activation. Today was the first chance I've had an opportunity to do it. In fact, I've just threw this radio in at the last moment. My trip today, I'm going down to Hickory to help my parents with a couple of errands and things, and then I'm driving back. So it's really a 3-hour round trip today between mid-morning and mid-afternoon. And Lake James was very convenient. And so on the way out the door, I have had a radio on my mind that I wanted to make a video about, and that is my KX1. It's not so much I wanted to make a video, I just wanted to take the KX1 out to the field. It's one of my favorite field radios, and it's been on my mind a lot lately because, again, you're watching this now and this is old news, but only 3 days ago, Elecraft made public that they are building and manufacturing the Elecraft KX1 handheld QRP portable radio, and I cannot wait to get my hands on my production model. It's supposed to be sent out this week. I don't know what the shipping times are like for the KX1. If you've ordered one, I think lots and lots of people have ordered them. But the KX1, I knew about it in advance. I'm in a tester group for Elecraft. I've known Elecraft and been a customer of theirs for many, many years. I'm in a volunteer group for that. So in a sense, I had my order in very early for the production model. And I couldn't wait for it to be released because I knew a lot of people would be really excited about it. People who are wired like me and who like doing really quick little impromptu activations with a minimal amount of gear. That's what I like doing. I'm not actually using a minimal amount of gear today because I still have my SOTA pack from the W4 SOTA campout, and I just threw a bunch of extra stuff in it before I left. I didn't bring a KX1 specific kit with me. So that's what I did. But KX1, when I first learned about it, Wayne, I spoke with Wayne, and Wayne was telling me all about it. And I said, Wayne, you've designed my radio. This is the radio I've always wanted. And he said, no, I designed my radio. And I believe him because when I first met Wayne in person, I think it was at the 2007 or 2008 Hamvention, and it was because I was on the lookout for a KX1, which is what I have in here. And the KX1 at the time was there was just nothing else like it. And if I haven't written a post about this already, because frankly, I'm probably going to write a post about this, I don't know if I've ever said this, but the real reason I learned CW, really learned CW, was so that I could buy a KX1. So I learned CW to pass my novice exam back in 1997. Back then, Elecraft was just kind of starting out. They had not been a company long. If they'd been a company for very long at all, it hadn't been for very long. And I think they came out with a KX1 in 2003. And in 2007, I really decided I really wanted a KX1 for all my just field operating and just for having fun. It's just the way I like doing radio. A really small, lightweight, portable, battery-powered radio that I could take to the field. And there was just nothing else like it. And I remember Wayne showing me how you could turn the paddle around, flip it around, hold the KX1 as a pedestrian mobile CW station. And he designed it so that it could be done that way. Now, I don't think I've ever used it that way, to be honest. I don't think I've ever used the KX1 that way. And one of the reasons why is because you do have a logging issue. You don't have an easy way to log if you're holding the radio, with both hands doing CW. But I never really needed to do that with the KX1. I've always held the KX1 in my, in my lap or on a table, like I'll do today to do my operating. But I remember it was possible with the KX1, and the KH1 is really an iteration of the KX1. I think it's more akin to that than it is the KX2, for that matter. and it has the things I love, like my KX1. I have a 4-band version and a 3-band version of the radio, so it'll do 80, 40, 30, 20, and then I have one that does 40, 30, 20. And to me, those are some of the most useful bands for field operating. So it works really, really well for me. It's one of the reasons why I think it works well for everybody. People who are CW operators, it's like a secret pass to operate radios like this. And that's the reason why I learned CW, so I could have a KX1 and actually operate it and use it, and I did. Now, I really started doing CW activating in 2020, and that's really when I bumped up my CW speed and started doing a little bit more CW. But the KX1 was kind of the first place where I started that. I would argue that the new KH1 transceiver is going to be one that people will learn CW in order to just be able to use that radio as well. People who want something super portable, super lightweight for impromptu, anytime, anywhere radio time. So I've talked about that a whole lot now, and let's hop in and set up the antenna. I've decided to deploy my Cheligan's MC-750 today. Why? Well, I don't know why. I just decided to do it. It pairs, I don't know if I've ever paired it with the KX1. I'd have to go back and look in my field reports and videos to see if I've done it. If I haven't, it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. And I think what I'll do is just set up the MC-750 right over here. There's like a little clearing right here. I should be able to set it up, and it should have enough room that I'm not going to hit any branches up above here. So let me get this going real quick. And oh, I should show you, this is the MC-750 case and everything in it. I'll show you the KX1 here in a second. I got something special to show you there too. So that's everything I need in order to set it up. So I'll go ahead and set this guy up, and we'll try to hop on the air. I can't take too long from this activation, actually. I'm sitting here blabbering away, but to be honest, I need to be out of here in probably, I may only have like about 30 minutes on the air or something like that. I've got an appointment at 1:30 in Hickory I cannot miss for anything, and I've got a couple extra things to do before then. So let's get this thing on the air. So I'm just going to grab my components of the antenna. Oh, I'm going to start on 40 meters today. Even though 40 meters probably is not going to be super productive right now, I think I will still start on 40 meters. So I'm going to take my 40 meter coil and put that on the MC-750. Oh, let me go ahead and, just to make sure I've got enough room, I usually will take this is a really long, unnecessarily long feed line. And I'm going to string this guy out so I know I've got enough room. This looks good. That works. So first thing I'll do is you take these two pieces, put them together. People ask me about the threads on this, and I don't know if they're standard to like American thread spacing and everything. I'm not really sure. You have to ask Jesse at Cheligan's about this. He will know. And we'll put the coil on for 40 meters. And then of course I can set the antenna for 40 meters or 7 megahertz on the whip. Now let me tell you something really interesting about the 750, the MC-750. I only really learned this recently. I always assumed there was a transformer in the base of the unit. There isn't. When you're setting this up for resonance, really what you're setting up is a quarter wave antenna on all the bands. When you add the 40 meter coil, then of course you're loading it so that you can do 40 meters. But basically there's no transformer in here at all. So it's one of the reasons I think this antenna is so darn efficient. I'll be careful not to put these lines in the road over here. Okay, got the antenna set up. You can probably see it pretty nicely right there. So I got it set up for 7 megahertz. It should be resonant on 7 megahertz here. Now let's get down to brass tacks. Again, I don't know if 40 meters is going to be that hot right now, and if it's not, then what I'll do is just turn it to 20 meters, which should be doing a little bit better. Yesterday, propagation was really bad. The conditions were really rough. I'm hoping it's recovered some today. So let me show you this. So first of all, I've got my KX1 in a Pelican 1050 case. This is a case I picked up at Hamvention in the flea market this year for like 10 bucks or something. $10, $15, I can't remember. But the fellow had 2 of these. They were in really good shape. And I didn't even know if I had a radio that really fit this. The KX1 fits in here, and I could probably build a kit out for it. But it's got some depth. But I actually prefer the 1060 case more. I've got 2 or 3 of those 1060 cases I use, and I really love them. I love Pelican cases. So yeah, I put my KX1 in here, and I've got to show you this. This is probably something you haven't seen before. So basically, my friend Joshua, N5FY, he is the owner of Tufteln, the company that makes little antennas and amateur radio accessories of all sorts. And he recently acquired a KX1. And the first thing he did when he got his KX1 was say, oh, I need to make a protective top for this. And this is what he designed. It's 3D printed. He's going to start producing these, but I don't think he's going to customize them with call signs. I don't think he's planning to do that just because it just takes so much more time for him to do that. He'd rather just produce them in bulk. But it's really nice. I love it because it's very minimal. It doesn't cover the whole thing. It doesn't bulk up the radio. And it's just big enough that it protects the encoder and the pots and the buttons and everything on the front of the radio. And how does it stay on here like this? Well, he put 2 rare earth magnets in this cover. And so they slip on here, and what you do is you replace the stock screws on the front of the radio with these little ones that pop up just a bit, and he includes that in the kit that goes along with this. So he actually provided me with enough that I can outfit all of my KX1s with it, which is just really nice of you. Thank you, Joshua, for doing that. But he will be selling these, I'm pretty sure, on his website before long. Probably by the time this is posted, he'll have them out there. And man, I really love this. This is just fantastic. It's just perfect, because really the main thing you want to try to do is protect this encoder. While you can replace these encoders, and Elecraft has a ton of them, and you can just buy them and replace it out yourself, because all of these originally were kits, it's still nice to be able to protect it. And like I said, it's very minimal. So all I did was take the original screws out. Here are the screws that were originally in the front of the radio there, and just replaced them with these other ones that are, they're magnetic too, so they stick on there really nicely. So it doesn't hold on like super, super well, but it holds on well enough that it's not ever going to pop off. Super easy to pull off. So thank you, Joshua. Such a cool thing. Okay. I need to stop talking, and I need to get on the air. Now let's hope crossing my fingers, I actually brought everything with me today because, to be honest, I kind of threw this together really quickly because I thought I just want to take the KX1 out, but I didn't really have a KX1 field kit set up or anything. So let's hope I brought it all with me. I want to thank someone else, KG8HZ. Jerry has sent me, he sends really interesting things to me sometimes, and just useful small things that, I can use. For example, he noticed that, I pick up trash and I keep nitrile gloves for when I do that. And so he sent me a box of nitrile gloves. Thank you. And he also sent me, when I was struggling to remember a couple of the things in the menus here on the KX1 and I didn't have my little quick reference sheet, he laminated and made some of these and made me like 3 or 4 of them. In fact, I gave one to Joshua in 5FY to keep in his kit. So it's really handy. Now this, you can make this yourself if you have a laminator, because basically this quick reference sheet you can print out. Elecraft keeps that. It's super easy to use and it fits pretty much in any case. It's like almost the same form factor as the KX1. In fact, I have known people that have made many versions of this sheet and stuck them on the back of the radio, but I probably wouldn't do that. It'd be hard for me to read that small. But so let's put this here. Let's stick it in here so it doesn't blow away or something. Boy, Thomas, you're really dragging out this activation, aren't you? For an activation that you do in fairly short order. Excuse me. Okay, let's see here. Got a battery, bigger battery than I need for this. I've got an audio cable, which I need in order for you to be able to hear the radio. Got my speaker, which hopefully has been turned off. Yes. So that's always a good sound. Okay, so I will put that up. And got a power cord, which I didn't check to make sure it's the right size, but I think it is. Yes, it is, thankfully. And I've got a key in here, and that's really all I need. Okay. I've got my log sheet. I've got hammers loaded up here, ready to go. I need my key. Right. Now, the KX1 has a paddle that attaches to it. And in fact, it's the one that's reversible, because Wayne first showed me how you could hold this radio and you can place the key around so that you can hold it and use it like an HT, which is just so cool with the KX1. I mean, there was just nothing like this on the market then at the time. I know that Hendrix had, I think, a Weber designed PFR. I have one of those radios as well. But the KX1 was, much smaller radio than that, much smaller form factor, and had an auto ATU in it, which was kind of nice as well, and just very ergonomic. They even made these, pots on the front so that you could just, turn them so easily, even with gloves on, which is really nice. Okay, let's see here. You know what I'm realizing too? We may have to make this really quick because I think this is Ruby that I grabbed instead of my newer KX1s, and Ruby can overheat. I've got to figure out what's going on with Ruby with that. Ruby can overheat, so I need to make this a quick activation. Its power output will go down to nothing when that happens. I just really want my 10 for just a fun little activation. This is Ruby. I know it is, because Ruby has no markings here on the pots, and they've been all rubbed off over time. So we'll need to make this quick. Now, if I need to finish off the activation, I think I have my KX2 in here, so I can just swap out radios really quickly if I need to, but let's hope Ruby can make it through this okay. She usually can make it about 30 minutes before she starts overheating and then we lose power. I've got to go through this radio. The original person who built this KX1 did not do the best of jobs, so there are a lot of cold solder joints and things like that, and I think that's what's happening is when she heats up, something just changes a little bit and boom, we lose. Okay, here we go. Let's go down to, Make sure that the ATU is turned off. You probably can't see all of this on here, but come on, where's ATU? ATU, edit. It's in calibrate mode. Okay, good. Okay, let me just do this. Huh. Why does it have such a high SWR? I plugged in the antenna. It is awfully quiet too. Let's see here. This does pick up noises from my phone. Let me see what's going on. Let me double check over here. Band 7069. Let's get on 063 again. And I'm getting 2 out, but it's showing R50. Let me try this again. Let me adjust the antenna. Maybe I did something wrong with it. Let me just check and make sure everything is connected properly. Okay. Yeah, much better. Okay, so I'm getting a 2.5 right now, but I know what happened. It was the end of the cable. So this cable that I had made by ABR, it's actually designed with a little, the way the connector connects to the PL259, there's actually something else you need to tighten on it. I recently had to loosen that, and it was just still a little loose. So 2.5, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of tweaking the antenna, because I'm here on different ground than I normally am, and I can just play with that antenna length a little bit and fix it, probably just going to hit the ATU to make it a little quicker. So let's go in here and edit the ATU, tell it to tune. Okay, 1.1. Now I could spend just a little bit of time and tweak the size of that ATU, tweak the size of that vertical, but I'm just not going to do it this time. So we'll start on 40 meters. If it's not productive, then I'm going to move on up to 20. Do it again here. came up. Okay. This will be a good test for Ruby, actually. Good to get you in here, Tommy. You sound like you're here in the park. Oh, great. Maybe he didn't hear me. Gotcha, Scott. I think the other person thought they heard me. By the way, when you heard Tommy's signal over here, and it sounded a little rough, that's probably the speaker more than anything else, not his actual... Not the speaker, but just the way the audio is coming out. Is that... here we go. Oh no, I lose him. I know I'll get you again. Gosh, my phone is going crazy. I'm overdriving the speaker. Okay. I'm gonna forget to take any photos. Oh, see, he's going a little slower. Oh, nice path into New Jersey. It'd be 3 GB. Uh-oh, we fade out. Not hearing anything there. Okay. I know who that is. Okay, I'm actually going to call QRT. Yeah, let me go in here real quick. I'm going to take some photos while the radio's still on. Such a beautiful day. Yeah, I just wanted my activation in, and that's about it. And that's all I got time for. All these text messages and phones you've been hearing ringing, those are all telling me that I've got to move on. I hate text messages sometimes, but I've got things I need to take care of today. It's a Monday, which is a busy day. Golly, it's so beautiful today. The leaves are just gorgeous. Okay, here we go. I'm going to turn this off. Ruby, thank you for doing such a great job and not overheating on me today. Now, we were only on the air like 15 minutes, right? And I got 12 contacts in that time. I think I know who this MSM was, and I'm really sorry. I suspect that the band just kind of faded out on us there a little bit, unfortunately. There was a little bit of QSB going on for sure. Some really strong signals, and like I said, when you heard the audio kind of going all wonky, that wasn't the station on the other end. That's just I was a little overdriving the speaker with the AF gain, so I just needed to really kind of tweak that and fix it. I love this radio. Love it. Whoops, stuck to it. There we go. Put this back in here. I may actually make a field kit out of this, but this may fit the QCX Mini or something like that a little bit better. Maybe the QMX that I'll soon be taking out. Everybody's been asking me about it. Yes, I have one. Yes, I'll be taking it out soon. Well, I have one on order, an assembled one. I have one in kit form that I just frankly have not had time to build. I haven't built a kit of any sort since like May, since right before Hamvention. And it's because our house has been in chaos. We've been painting and doing things. Everything's been taking longer because we've had things going on in the family. So just have not been able to get everything done I wanted to. This makes for fun. Activations don't have to be super long. I have got errands to run. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put this up. Oh, take a picture of my log. Always like to do that just to have that back up. Then we'll go put up the antenna. I'll show you just how easy that is to do. Really couldn't be easier, to be honest. Let's see, let's move the camera. Sorry for all the camera noise. You guys put up with a lot of noise in my videos just from like the body of the camera and everything else. First thing I'll do is just wind up the counterpoint, the radial. size. This is all of the radials, ground radials, in here pretty nicely. I'll take this to put the 40-meter coil in. So this fits in this little bag. There's actually a purpose spot for it here in the carry case. This is something that Elegance provides with the MC-750. Now, my buddy Bob and a few others have been telling me I really need to keep a washcloth in here, like a rag, basically so that when I'm using the antenna, especially on a muddy day or something like that, I can wipe off the stake really nicely with this. But I just haven't done that yet. I need to do it. It's true. I'm just going to pull the rest of this over, pull it in. I'm not going to get the connector dirty doing this because I'm pulling it against the dirt. Let's do a little figure 8 on here. There we go. That's all there is to that. This case works really, really well. Okay, throw the rest of these things in my pack here. It's not really designed for everything to fit in here this way, but I just stuffed it in today because I didn't really have a lot of time. So I was heading out the door. Okay, put this in here too. Zip this up. This is my Mystery Ranch Scree 32, which I've been using for POTA and soda, but mainly for soda, to be honest. It's really my soda bag. Put my pad up. Put my glasses. Now, of course, if I were doing a soda activation with the MC-750, it would be packed in my bag. I have done that before. Not hard to do at all. I need to do it today. I wasn't walking that far. Got this camera here. Take one last look over at the lake before we head on out. Man, it's so pretty out here. Really nice. You can see, though, like there's this really nice picnic area over here. And I knew there were some tables here, but I really just thought there were just like a few up this way. I didn't realize this all came out this way. I wonder how new this part of it is. Maybe it's just been so long, but I'm not surprised. They really do need a lot. This part of the park stays so busy normally, but not on a Monday morning. My phone's driving me nuts this morning. I don't know about you, but I am, well, I guess you'd say I'm of the Gen X generation, right? I grew up with computers. When I was young, it was BBSs, like bulletin board systems and things. And then I really jumped in on the internet very early at the university. I remember sending some of my very first emails at the university I went to in France. The email addresses were massively long. I've watched the internet grow up. I've done web development and other things. But I still have a very much a love-hate relationship with cell phones the way we are now. I don't like notifications. I like to come out to places like this and just to enjoy being in nature and being in the moment. But there are days like today when I'm squeezing an activation in that I'm just going to have to listen to all those notifications ding away as I'm running through the activation. I still do not regret it, because what a great way to kind of clear the mind, to come out here and enjoy this. You can see there's some people over there, but there's no one in the lake. The lake's kind of closed for swimming, for the swimming access at the beach, but it's just beautiful. Here in another week, the leaves will be probably at peak here as well. It's really nice. I'd really like to be out on a canoe or a kayak on this lake right now. But anyway, I've got to head on as I listen to these messages stack up. Just want to thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And if you've got a KX1, be good to that thing. Keep it on the air. Take good care of it. And it's such a great radio. No matter what comes out, no matter what hits the market, KX1 is still, in my opinion, one of the best field radios ever made for so many reasons. So just keep that in mind. To be happy with your KX1, it's a great radio. Okay. Anyway, take care, everyone. And thank you so much for my Patreon supporters and Coffee Fund supporters. Always, you guys are just amazing. You make all this possible. You make it so that I can pump out so many videos, and it's wonderful to do that. Also, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. Be kind to one another out there, because all we got on this planet's each other, right? Take care, and until next time, 7 threes.